First.
Oh my God,
should
that's
back
such
up
bullshit.
first.
Oh, no, there's so much bullshit. I'm
It's
sorry.
okay. You're saying Palestinians should let go of Israelis sitting in their house.
All I'm
let
saying,
go.
I'm not saying let go, because you have to have justice. But the justice has to be achieved with an understanding that you can't actually get your house back. You go to a Jewish community in America, what do people complain about?
Yeah.
They complain that Judaism is disappearing.
Yeah.
Why is Judaism? It's not disappearing, it's mixing in with the local population. They're adopting Christianity, they're adopting atheism, they're going to regular schools, they're forgetting that they're Jews, right?
Yeah.
And why? Because America is this country, the first country in the world, where everybody just says, oh, we love Jews. Great, come marry our children, come to our church if you want, whatever you want, we love you. And so they disappear. And if you want to turn the problem of Jews needing to be in a separate country and being afraid all the time, the solution is love and peace. Look, there was love and peace.
Don't you think? Sorry to cut you.
No, let me tell you. Sure. Okay. Can I?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So on the day that the Palestinian Authority was established, I was a medical student at the time, and Johnny, who's here with me, he's on the other side. He's in the pink shirt and the funny hat over there. He and I said, meet me in Tel Aviv. He said, why? I said, I'm buying a ticket to Tel Aviv. He said, you're a poor medical student. What are you doing flying to Tel Aviv? So I get on the plane and I fly to Tel Aviv, and we get out from Tel Aviv and I rent a car, and he says, where are we going? I said, we're going to Ramallah. Why are we going to Ramallah? We're going to Ramallah because I have to congratulate the Palestinians on their new country. And we drive to Ramallah, and there's a border. For the first time in my whole life, there's a border in Israel. And here there are Palestinians with guns, and here are Israelis with guns, and there's a border. And I get out of the car, I say, we have to hug these people. And we give them big hugs, right? And they look, a little weird. But there was a period. It was a short period. It was a period of a couple of years where there was no war. Yeah. Maybe 2 years where there was no war, no one was killing each other. You know what happened in those 2 years? 50,000 Palestinians from the West Bank moved to Israel and married Palestinians in Israel. 50,000. That was over 2 years. Imagine if there had been 20 years of peace. Imagine if there had been 30 years of peace. They'd all be mixed already. All you have to do is put down the guns, say we're not going to fight, we're just going to love each other, we're going to have peace. Imagine you say peace, and you know what, we're going to accept these little pathetic borders you want to give us. Who cares what the borders are? It's going to be like the European Union. Next thing you know, everybody's going to love everybody, everybody's going to get along. Yeah. If that's possible, that's the solution.
So everyone loving each other, basically you're saying everyone putting down weapons, everyone saying this is, you believe this is the solution?
I can't say everybody, because...
No, I mean Palestinians, I'm talking about in that region. I
think that it's not... Look, there are satisfying solutions and there are frustrating solutions. The satisfying solution is you do it now, and then 6 months from now, everything's fine. Yeah. No, you do that now, and 30 years from now, you won't even remember that there were Jews.
Do you think this is possible? I'll tell you why I think it's not possible. No, I don't think it's possible. This is personally just my opinion.
Sure.
Why? Because there are people who lost their families, people who lost their homes, people who lost etc., etc. These people want revenge. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So even if you tell them, put down your weapons, do this, do that, they will not accept it. I'll give you an example.
No, but my aunt was killed by Yemenites. Right? Yemenite Muslims killed my aunt in Yemen when she was just living there, and she's been there since before there was Muslim. And still we can overcome.
Can I say something? Yeah. Sorry. What I'm talking about is the general case. You might be something not in the general case. You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about the general case. For example, if the Palestinians say, when the Jews were being hunted down by Hitler, and they came to us, we welcomed them, then they took our houses. Okay, this is kind of, this is the claim, not my claim, I'm saying this is the claim, okay. And then, the Jews now are living in these houses, okay? And the Palestinians say, we want our houses back. And the Jews say, no, these are our houses. How can you solve that?
So
there is one house, two people.
No,
okay?
Let me ask you a question. Okay,
yeah,
so
sure.
My aunt's family comes from Hungary, right?
Okay.
And in Hungary, they took all their land and all their houses and everything, and they never gave them back, and they still have their houses. And it wasn't a long time ago. It was 2 years before they took the Palestinians' houses, 2 years before.
Where did they go after they took their houses?
After they go, okay, it's a very sad story. You have to prepare yourself, okay? So her father was living in Hungary, and the Nazis came and they took him to the concentration camp.
Okay.
And on the way to the concentration camp, his wife and children got on the same train,
Yeah.
and he was able to jump off, and he never ever saw his wife and children again.
Okay.
And he snuck into Vienna, where somebody saved his life, and hid him in Vienna and let him be her servant for the war. And when he was done, the communists came,
Yeah.
and the communists took all his land and property and everything, and he already had a new wife and he had new kids, and then he had to escape again.
Yeah.
Right? And he escaped across the border, but across the border, the communists shot and killed his other daughter. Right? So he only escaped with one daughter.
Okay.
And then he moved to Boston.
Okay.
But to take somebody like that and say, okay, now put down your weapons, it doesn't work, right? But I'll tell you what, do I hate Hungarians?
No.
Why would
You know
I
why?
hate
You know why I
Hungarians
ask
just
you?
'cause you took my
You
house?
know why I ask you?
There are
Where did
people
he
living
go?
in my house right now, but it doesn't matter.
You know why I ask you? Where did he go?
Yeah.
They went to Boston.
Right.
Okay. Is this same case applicable to the Palestinians? The Palestinians now, they're not outside of Palestine. So they didn't go to Boston, they didn't go to Saudi Arabia. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, most
So-
Palestinians did leave, right?
Yes,
You
I'm
agree,
talking about.
most of them.
Yes, you're talking about the conflict, correct?
Right.
So the conflict does not include the people who left, correct? It includes the people who are there right now.
The conflict's in everybody's heart, right? I'm not in Israel, and
No, I
it's
mean
constant
the fighting
heart.
that is happening. The fighting that is literally happening.
The
killing,
actual
etc.
fighting, yes.
Yes. So these people who include the actual fighting, they are two people fighting over one house or one property, one land. You see what I'm trying to say? So how can you solve that? The only way you can solve that is by having two houses.
Well, you can build more houses.
But if-
Just say the word, we'll build huge houses.
But if both of us
giant
want the
cities.
same house, how can you
Well,
solve
but you
that?
have to let go of the idea of having the same
This
house.
is what
that's
this is
all.
the solution. But who's going to let go? The
Well,
Palestinians will let go,
look,
or the Israelis will
Look,
let
the
go.
Hungarians, okay, they have my house. Am I going to tell them that they have to leave their house? I would never tell them they have
You
to
have
leave
a
their
right
house.
to go back to
I'm
your
going to
house?
build my own darn house. I
You
can't
have-
go say hello.
Sure.
I can't go live
Remember
in it.
what I was talking about, the general case, specific case? You're a specific case, okay? I'm not
No,
talking
but
about you
all
personally.
Jews are all in the same situation.
Sure.
My children's
Can I ask you something?
ancestors are all
Can I
in
ask you
Yemen.
something respectfully?
All
Are
their
you here-
houses are in Yemen.
Are you
Am I
here?
supposed to hate Yemenites
Sorry,
because they have their houses?
are you here to speak about yourself or about the general problem, the general case? Which one? Because
We have to use our own personal situation in the world to help spread understanding for the
sure,
general
I agree. I
case.
completely agree with that. But what you think is not the same as they think. Do you understand what I'm
But
trying to
when
say?
So when you say, hey, is it not possible to forgive somebody because his ancestors
saying that.
stole his house and he's still living in the house and he won't give you the house back, I can tell you from personal experience that's possible. You have to reach into your heart and you have to forgive people.
So you're
and
saying
understand they're
you're
born
saying
in that house.
you're saying Palestinians should let go of Israelis sitting in their house and,
All I'm
let
saying,
go.
I'm not saying let go because you have to have justice, but the justice has to be achieved with an understanding that you can't actually get your house back. It's
Okay.
not just
So
that
how
I
is
can't
that
get my
justice?
house back in Yemen. It's that I can't even visit Yemen.
How is this is might be from your point of view justice, from their point of view it's not justice.
Well, but so that's why that's the cause of the conflict.
This is the cause of the
Because
conflict.
I can forgive and they're
That's
not.
why I
forgiving.
asked you,
That's all.
how can you solve the problem? You said everyone loves each other, but
Well, you
we
have
can
to
never
teach
love
forgiveness.
Sorry?
You have to teach forgiveness.
Let
and
me
love.
tell you something. If this is about love and forgiveness and things like that, why wouldn't the Jews, okay, have love and forgiveness and give back the houses to Palestinians?
Because we don't trust. That
Why
they
is it
won't
only
murder us in our
one way
sleep.
road?
Because we don't trust that they won't murder us in sleep. I'm not asking them to let me live next to them in
But what's
Gaza,
about-
and they go to sleep at night and they don't know if the next day because they killed my great-grandfather, I'm going to kill them.
But isn't it the same
You
around
have to
the-
be separate. That's all. For a
I'm not
while, you
arguing.
have to be
Look,
separate.
I'm not arguing.
Sorry, in Israel, the one of the second biggest party is from Palestine, the Palestinian people. So they have full rights as a Palestinian, even though Israeli gave them the right to do and to vote as well. So that's kind of a way.
No, we're
And that
kind of
helps for
we're kind of
Palestinians in
Yeah, I
Israel,
go to
but for
Israel, so-
Palestinians
we're
in
kind of
Gaza,
talking about the general problem. You
For
understand?
Palestinians in
so
Gaza,
the
it's a
conflict
different
that is
problem.
happening
I
today.
haven't listened, so I don't
Oh,
want to
it's okay.
ruin
It's
your
fine.
stuff.
It's fine. It's okay. So when we talk about the general conflict, when you say one side have to let go, one side have to compensate for things, and the other side doesn't have to do the same.
no, the Jews have to compensate the
In what?
Palestinians. You have to.
So now you describe.
So A, we agree that they have to compensate, right?
Give me some examples for the Palestinians. Give me some examples for the.
No. The Palestinians don't have to compensate.
But you said they don't have to. They say you can have our houses now.
Oh,
isn't this compensating?
No, compensating is when you take something that is in your possession and you give it away. The Hungarians, I'm not compensating the Hungarians.
It's not their houses.
I'm not compensating. No, it's not your house.
It's not mine. It's not mine.
I'm sorry.
Why are you making it me?
No.
Why are you making it me and you?
I'm sorry. Every house that you see here, at one point in the history of that house, somebody stole that house from somebody else.
Sure.
At one point, everything.
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
If you were born in this house, imagine, like when I was a kid and we moved to Israel, a friend of mine lived in what they called an Arab house, and I thought, those Arabs, they know how to build houses, and it didn't occur to me that when they say it's an Arab house, it's because there was an Arab person who lived in that house, and now the house doesn't belong to him because it was stolen from him. It took me 15 years to figure out that was what going on.
I have no problem with that.
No. So
you don't see the process. You don't see. Sorry to cut you.
Right. Sorry.
You don't see the process. If someone stole your house over a long amount of term of time and you left, you found another house, that's a different story. My question now is about the state of Palestinians. If you don't have a house, this is a different story. Now you're living in the land, you don't have a house, and you're saying, I want my house back.
Right.
Because there's no other house for you.
It's hard.
This is what I'm saying. You're talking about another case.
No.
If someone stole my house over,
why the
you see,
Palestinians
it's a different story.
The Palestinians don't have to be compensated because of justice, right? It's not that, something was stolen from them, so they have to be compensated. Something was stolen from me, something was stolen from my children, something was stolen. And by the way, a lot of it was stolen by Muslims. But that doesn't mean
Let me rephrase.
No.
We don't have to argue. Sorry. We don't have to argue over compensating or not.
The reason we have to compensate the Palestinians is because their situation is terrible.
You didn't tell me how.
Is because their situation is terrible.
Yes.
But as long as we agree that, hey, we should not live in a world where anybody's situation is terrible.
Sure. But respectfully, this is the way I see what you said.
So this is what I'm going to do. Okay.
Sure.
What I'm going to do, if there is peace, is I lived in Singapore for many years. Okay. Singapore is much smaller than Gaza. It has more people than all the Palestinians in the West Bank and Gaza combined. Okay. We will build you a Singapore. Okay. And my partner in Oklahoma is Palestinian. I'm telling you, these Palestinians, they are capable of doing anything. As soon as if they can figure out how to bomb Israel, one of the world's great military powers, using toothpicks and tin cans, they can figure out anything.
Sure.
But you have to have peace first, right?
So this is what I believe you said. What I believe you're saying right now. What you said is, this is what the Palestinians believe. Palestinians believe someone took their houses, correct? And now he's living in their houses. He's not giving them back their houses, okay? But that person, from his generosity, after stealing their house, is going to tell them step by step.
But it's not generosity.
I know. Just let me.
They have to be.
Can you let me finish? Sorry, I let you finish. Can you let me finish? You
yeah.
know? Let's have it two ways. Sorry. So, out of the generosity, they're gonna allow them to have a house in here, or to do this in here, or to do this in there. They don't look. It's like saying, I kicked you out of your house, but I'm going to be generous enough for you to stay at this couch today. You understand? This is how they will see what you're saying. This is what I'm saying. Step by step. Let's take
That's what they're going to see if you're coming with paternalism.
Be changed. And first thing you need to understand, at the time when Israelis moved into Israel, the amount of Palestinians they were nowhere near. The amount of people there used to be now, they were nowhere near. First thing you have to recognize that. If that makes sense. So, and
what do you mean? What do you mean?
The population
yes.
is way low, very low. Almost there.
For every house that's been
for Palestine.
For every house that was stolen.
I'm talking about only these Palestinians. I'm not saying all the Jews come out of Israel.
No,
this is now I'm here to propagate.
Yeah.
You're talking about now the population that is today. That's what I'm saying. We're talking about the conflict today. Ignore the past. I'm not here to talk about what happened yesterday, what happened tomorrow. I'm talking about today. What people believe today, how to solve the problem that is happening today. This is what we're here to talk about. That's why when I spoke to him, I told him, we're speaking about problems. We can speak about problems for millenniums, but where's solutions?
Yeah, but the solution is simple. Hamas should stop the way they're thinking. We're not.
Are you Muslim, by the way? You're not?
No, I'm not.
Oh, sure.
The Hamas, first thing you need to recognize that, the only mission of Hamas is to annihilate, completely destroy Israel. That mentality has to stop, and that instead they should think about solving the problems as well. Does that make sense?
Okay, so this is one side. What about the other side?
Wait. And also, the Israelis did stuff which is unfair to the Palestinians as well. Do you understand?
Sure.
So
still doing, right?
Both
sides.
Both
Yes.
sides do.
Yeah, let's be clear about this. So I told you we don't talk about the past. I'm talking about what's happening today.
It is very unfair to say, like, to paint in one person. But the first thing that it should start, Hamas should say, you know what? I need to work with Israelis, and we need to solve the problems, because Israelis are ready to solve the problems. Do you understand? That is on the fair side.
Not all Israelis.
No, not Israelis. They're like, fundamentals which don't want. But that kind of maybe like can start to have a peace.
Sure.
Label,
So the problem. This is what I see the problem with what you're saying. Hamas should go and speak with the Israelites to give them peace. But what Hamas sees that Israelites should come to them and speak for peace. This is you see the problem.
Yeah.
What we're talking about here is not the issue.
But
The issue
Hamas
is
doesn't recognize Israel and won't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, they won't.
no
right?
problem.
They won't even talk.
Are they Jews that will not speak to Hamas?
There
They're not
are
willing to
some,
speak
yes,
to Hamas.
and more.
So
And
this
I
is
have
what
to
we're
fight
talking
them
about.
all the
That's
time.
why
I
we're
have to
talking
fight
about the
them.
problem. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? So we're talking about the problem.
By
He
the
said
way.
the solution is easy. The solution is not
By
easy.
the way, the solution. This is, but this
come
is.
on. That's not fair.
So if the solution is easy, we do it. It's something.
The
Something.
solution is what we're doing right
it's
here,
more
where you're
complex.
talking about it, right?
more
You talk
complex,
about it,
but-
that's the solution.
Yeah.
Sure.
And if you're not talking, and especially if you're educating your children in hatred,
Yeah.
it's not that I'm here. It's that my children were all here. All of them were here to hear me talk. And the only reason they're not here now is because my wife took them away, right?
Okay. So, but us talking over here, I'll give you an example. Let's say there are some people who are living in Egypt or living in Yemen, for example. Okay, they're talking about a problem happening in the Senegal. Okay, and these people in the Senegal will not listen to these people who are talking about the problem, anyways. Would that change anything?
No, you have to go back and talk to the Palestinians. I'm
So-
going to go back. I'm going to talk to the Jews.
This is
Now,
the solution.
you
You,
take
see what
me
I'm saying?
and
But
you-
here,
And the other, which is a bit unfair.
I do not see
is
the
that,
distinction
like,
as an
it
Israeli
becomes
Jew. I
rather
don't
than
see
like
the
humanitarian issue, which
I'm not saying every Jew. We have to talk to the ones who don't want peace. We have to talk to the ones who don't want peace. But by the way, Israelis are not different.
So
this is one of the problems as well.
also the people and the Muslims.
Well, a lot of Jews in Israel. Wait a second. A lot of Jews in Israel disagree with what Israelis do. Why are you drawing a distinction? You think Israel, everybody agrees? I don't understand. Why do you think everybody in Israel agrees?
Back off.
Why would
and
you
see
say
them
that?
as humans
Exactly.
and then get treated? Do you understand?
We all agree on that. But the idea is, when someone says, I want the Israelis to back off, and someone says, I want the Palestinians to back off, and the both with it, no, they should back off first.
Oh my God,
should
that's
back
such
off first.
bullshit. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
okay.
We're talking to somebody whose wife is Yemenite, and half the people in Israel are from Arab countries. And I say my wife, 50% of the Israeli Jewish population is from Arab countries. 50%, not 99%. You just told me 1%. It's 50%. And you know what? I told my wife, I said, go back. I said, go, yeah, 50%. And you know what? When I tell my wife, please come with me to where I was raised.
Like,
Please
how
come
many
to
hours
Tunisia. Let me show you the map. Let me show you the level. You know what my wife says? She says, I can't go there because I'm Israeli.
Can I say something? Wait. Can I say before
And not say
just let me say
something
one thing.
like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm wrong.
Do you know what happened right now? Do you know what just happened?
I want to say
Do you know what just happened?
I'm not interested in your
Sorry,
opinion
wait.
about what I know about Israel and my family.
Can I say something? Let's continue our conversation. Let's continue our conversation. Do you know what just happened? Conflict.
He said that 1% instead of 50%. He just demonstrated his ignorance by a factor of 5,000%. The number of Palestinians.
Do you see what happened?
Okay. Do you believe in Google? What do you believe in? What do you believe in? I mean, I'm talking about the world I live in, right? I mean, so you're still, and it's not just that you're unwilling to learn. How are you not willing to
What's your
learn?
name? What's your name?
How can you think that? Okay, so here we go. Okay, we're gonna say.
Get religion. It shouldn't.
Do you know what I was going to say?
Yeah.
This is the conflict that we're talking about.
Yeah.
When we're coming here to talk about solving problems, and you see, you can't even solve problems with you.
Like, he comes from that.
But have you seen this is what I'm trying to say. You understand?
Just listen.
You're wrong.
I'm gonna say one sentence. Okay. For example, the Jews in Morocco. For example,
I know.
hold on. The Jews in Morocco.
How do you think the Palestinians are passionate? How passionate do you think
I
Palestinians
don't
are?
want to pick.
How passionate do you think Israelis feelings are.
I'm just picking the
We have these two people who are truly passionate, and you want to reconcile between them. You understand? It's like what's happening here. This is on one level. They are on this level over there. You understand? That's why we're talking about solving the problem. But if we can't solve the problem here, let alone solving any problems there. You know, this is what I'm trying to say.
Including, by the way, all my children whose ancestors all speak Arabic.
I am not against you, by the way. Long live Israel. Listen. I am. Look.
But this kind of ignorance is what causes the conflict. Trust me, everybody thinks they all come from Europe. They don't come from Europe. I come from Europe.
Do you see how passionate you are?
You said it's 1%. How can you be off by 5,000% that you have a role in the conversation?
I did say that.
Okay.
Allow me to defend myself. As soon as you're shouting, there's no need to shout. I'm just saying. That's my opinion. So if I'm ignorant,
that's not opinion.
if I'm ignorant, how are you going to educate me like that?
Can I say something?
Are you educated?
Look, can I say something?
I'm not educated.
No, have I educated you? Are you going to make that mistake again?
What I'm trying to say to you is, majority of people that live
Do you want to continue our conversation, or should I go?
People that live in Israel, they can go back to where they were originally came from.
Why would you still say that when they aren't allowed to go back?
Hold on.
How can you still say that?
Why are they going there? What is the reason for them? What is the purpose of them going there? And they're saying, we're getting attacked by the Palestinians, and we're this, and we're that, and we're this, yes? They're under threat, right?
Fleeing persecution from everywhere they go.
They used to be,
I'm
but
sorry,
now,
you're saying that right now if my family went back to Yemen, we'd be okay?
No.
Seriously?
No, hold on.
I can tell you, my Yemenite wife and all my Yemenite children, you think they can go to Yemen?
What about
You're telling me it's like, if you told him, no problem, go back to Tel Aviv, I would get just as angry. Just as angry.
Yemen.
Now you wouldn't go back there, would
supposed
you?
to go back there?
I want to go back there.
Of course, you were there. And even
No, but okay, forget Yemen for a moment.
Morocco better.
I want to go to Tunisia. You aren't even allowed in Tunisia with an Israeli passport. How can you be saying
Listen, I'll tell you one thing. But one thing I want to correct.
Let me finish. So you said Tunisia. You said Tunisia. Yeah?
Okay. Just
If you're Tunisian and you went to Israel, you migrated to Israel.
Were you born in Tunisia?
No, I was raised in
See, that's
Tunisia.
exactly it. If you go back to Tunisia, you can go. Why are you going back to Israeli passport? You go back to Tunisia
Forget me for a second. My wife, all her ancestors are from Yemen.
Can I say something?
And they can't go back. You can say it's a bad option, but by the way, but most Jews in Israel can't go back to where they came from. We would love to. My friends, my Iraqi friends talk about their life in Iraq.
Just say something. Stay with me for a second.
It's not our conversation specifically.
Stay with me for a second, okay? When he mentioned the 1%, you see how passionate you got.
Yeah.
This is the problem, I
Because
believe.
it's ignorance like that causes the conflict.
You believe it's a
I want
fact,
to send him here.
but you don't look at his point of view. He doesn't believe it's a fact.
Hold on.
This is how we have to understand.
Belief.
Wait, we have to understand each other.
Okay, let's say, however,
in Yemen,
how many percent came from an Arab country?
I don't know. That makes me 1 minute speaking. Can I say 1 minute and I go, please?
Yeah, everyone can say whatever they want.
I have.
Nice talking to you, by the way, yeah?